What I'm just gonna say is just, hey, we've already introduced you. Do your thing, brother.
How y'all doing? ReZsaun Lewis. I serve the community in many different capacities. I'm just excited to be here. I'm a big fan of Pastor Dixon and everything that he does. Definitely team Kamala Harris. I want to see Kamala Walls win this year's election for very many reasons. Just go back to again. So I serve the community in many capacities. One as the executive director of Lowcountry Youth Services, which is a youth development organization that serves the Tri-County area, Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester County by creating and implementing youth development programming. But for the purpose of this meeting, I serve as the chair of the Dorchester County Democratic Party, and that's a role that I took on in April. I want to say I was elected. And since then, we've been doing everything we can to make sure that the party is ready to get people elected up and down the ballot. Now, of course, this is Lowcountry for Kamala, so we're going to talk about the importance of voting in this presidential election. But I want you to understand that there's so much at play, right? There is so much at play when we're talking about the presidency and on down the ballot. What if I told you that in the state of South Carolina, there actually are more, just based on voting history, more people that are Democrats than Republicans? What if I told you that? It's absolutely true. There are more Democrats in South Carolina than Republicans. The difference between the Democrats and Republicans is that Democrats don't vote at a consistent basis. But we've shown across this country that anytime we get activated, anytime we're ready to move, anytime we're engaged, anytime we're fired up and ready to go, we can and we will win elections. We can and we will hold people's feet to the fire. We can and we will move the needle in a positive direction. So, yes, I am fired up about the Kamala Harris campaign. And I will tell you as a chair of the party that Democrats are fired up. If you're thinking that we are going to sit this one out, you are wrong. You better get on the train, right? And what I also want to say before, because I'm passing to Pastor Dixon, because I can do this all day. What I also say is, people may be saying, hey, we need to know what these policies are. I understand. People may say, hey, I want to know what the agenda is going to be for Black people. We understand. People may say, I want to make sure that my community is better suited than it was before the Kamala Harris presidency. I want you to understand about that part. That issue, a lot of the issues that we care about within our communities are not presidential issues. They're issues that are impacted down ballot. There's issues that are impacted by your state legislatures. There are issues that are impacted by your city mayor. There are issues that are impacted by your South Carolina Department of Transportation. There are issues that are impacted by your city and town councils. And we need to become, while we're focused on this presidential election, and they are important, we need to make sure that every single time there are opportunities for us to vote, that we're getting out there, we're making our voices heard, and we are being the difference that we want to see. And then once we elect people, whether we vote for them or not, we hold their feet to the fire and make sure they do what they're elected to do, whether we voted for them or not. Thank you. Pastor, you muted.
I go. Teaching myself as I go.
There we go. There we go.
Man, that part. Hold their feet to the fire.
Yes,
Man.
yes.
Yes, sir. You just fired me up, my brother.
Hey, man, we got to do it for each other, because the truth is, like I said, there's so much at play, man. There's so much at play. Like, just if you look at what's happened in the state of South Carolina over the last 2 years, we talk nationally. Nationally, we have what they call the do nothing legislature. They've done nothing in Congress because they've been more focused on on culture wars than on legislating the country to make sure we're moving the needle in a better direction. Since we've gotten a majority Republican Congress on the House of Representatives side, we have gotten nothing done. There have been no meaningful legislation passed. Anything that's been passed has been either built up on the Senate side and crushed in the in the House of Representatives, or it's been an executive order. That's not the way you run a country. And so let's talk about the state of South Carolina. What have been the issues that they've made paramount in the state of South Carolina? In the state of South Carolina, they've made paramount school vouchers. Let's talk about school vouchers. School vouchers sound great, right? Except for when we look at the states like the state of Florida and the state of Arizona, which have actually lost $1.8 billion in public funding because of the fact that they've been redirecting money from public schools to these places. They don't even know where the money went. and public schools are struggling now. Essentially, what people are trying to do is kill the public school system. So in South Carolina, they approved the public school vouchers, the school vouchers last year. One, it was not for the full amount that it would cost for a child to go to public school. So let's say that number is $5,000. And I think that they want to say the number is right around $5,000. As a parent who has sent a child to private school for her 11th and 12th grade year, I can tell you that $5,000 a year does not get any kid into any reputable private school in the state of South Carolina. Not one. Not one. So secondly, if you take the private school, the school voucher, you are responsible for transporting your child to that school. It does not come with transportation. Sorry, balloons. No balloons. No balloons. It does not come with transportation to that school, right? And that money that's additional, you have to look at the fact that, okay, so now if you are from a low income household and you say, I want a better educational opportunity for my child, so I'm going to use this school voucher money. I'm going to send my kid to a private school. I have to come up with the money, the additional money on my own, and I have to transport that kid. Also, there's only a limited amount of students in the state of South Carolina that have access to it. So what ends up happening is people who are already sending their kids to private school absorb the money. It comes out of the public schools, goes into private schools, which actually goes against the constitutional law, which is, I don't know how they passed it. I don't know how the Supreme Court allowed it to go, because we literally have constitutional laws that say we cannot use public money for private entities in terms of schooling, especially if it's a religious school. Bishop England, that's a religious school. Schools like that are religious schools. So again, we got to look at these things from a total standpoint. And in the state of South Carolina, school vouchers. That's one thing they focused on. Two, making sure that they're keeping men playing in men's sports and women playing in women's sports. Of course, that's way more important than fixing our roads, right? That's way more important than making sure our schools have a lower student-to-teacher ratio, right? They've also focused on making sure that you have access to constitutional carry. Hooray. Much more important than making sure we have affordable health care in this state, right?
Yeah. Distractions, though. Yeah. Distractions.
Come on, man.
You know, while they continue to pinch off the money and everything, and we still have people in the state that are really, really hurting, you know.
Come on, man.
Yeah. A lot of y'all might not know, though, you know, we missed the golden opportunity to put ReZsaun in the State House, in the South Carolina State House. And so he's speaking as far as mobilizing voters from a firsthand perspective, just as I am. We missed the golden opportunity. I'm going to pat myself on the back in 2016 of replacing Tim Scott in the Congress. Just think, I would have been 8 years in the U.S. Senate instead of Tim Scott. Boxing Lindsey Graham in his mouth every time he got smart.
And we have to ask ourselves, what has 8 more years of Tim Scott done for our state?
Ooh, Lord.
Let's really have the conversation. You know, what has 8 more years of Tim Scott done for our state? What is having a majority Republican House and Senate since the mid '90s done for our state? What is having a Republican majority, supermajority in the House of Representatives done for our state? Mm-hmm. They're playing culture war games. They're not interested in legislating you. And I'm not saying the Democrats have all the answers, but I'm saying if we've done something for 20 plus years and moved in the wrong direction in every single instance, at some point we got to try something new. We got to try something new.
Very, very true. They are. They're playing these games with us and with our lives, our livelihoods, and jeopardizing our future potential for our children. And they don't care. They don't care. And it's so crucial right now.
And on top of that, let's look at things like how our state has actually been able to move forward, right? Things like the infrastructure bill, which every sitting congressperson in the state of South Carolina voted against, except for Jim Clyburn. But when that money was approved and sent to the state of South Carolina, do you know what our governor did? Our governor sat boldly in our state legislature and said, "Look, guys, look at the great job we've done to build the infrastructure of the state of South Carolina. Look at this surplus that we have in funding." That money came because of the Joe Biden infrastructure plan. We have a
Exactly.
revitalization and an increase of broadband services in the state of South Carolina because of the Joe Biden infrastructure plan. So while they're sitting there telling you, well, Biden was bad, Biden wasn't bad for my communities. If you live in a rural community and you see people coming out there and installing internet opportunities in your, because during COVID, your child had to go to a McDonald's to be able to go to school online, you can thank Joe Biden for that.
Mm-hmm.
Elections have consequences. We have
But
to look at the way.
it's because of our lack of knowledge. Even when it comes to those contracts, we should have a significant stake in those contracts.
Absolutely.
As residents of the state, as a block, as a people. But
Absolutely.
instead, we don't know about that. The same thing with the Safer Communities Act. That money came into the state and is bottled up in the state house.
Yeah.
Instead of flowing to the communities in order to combat crime that they always say is the biggest problem. Crime. But they won't put the monies that's been allotted through Joe Biden, because somewhere along the way, somebody's going to say, well, Joe Biden gave us that money.
Yeah.
But they ain't going to admit that.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. You know this like I know this.
Wonderful conversation. And my friends, this is why. Yeah, go right ahead. Mm-hmm.
No, I was gonna say, you know, just like I know that the number one indicator.
We need to find.
Sorry,
okay.
the number one indicator of crime, of educational issues, affordable housing issues, food insecurity is all rooted in one thing: poverty. And while we're got a war on all these other things,
right,
we refuse to fight the war on poverty. And until we get serious about the war on poverty, we will be exactly where we are.
Exactly. And as long as they can keep us sidetracked on these single issues, and focused on these single issues, we as a community will never address the biggest thing. So the biggest remedy for that is for us to get rid of them, so we can make the main thing the main thing. Absolutely. And that's to focus on poverty, focus on how we, because that's what democratic values is all about. It's about helping people. It's not about enriching themselves or maintaining power or anything like that, even though there are some Dems that follow that model. I'm going to say that. But the overall value system, the reason why people are on this live now and who are supporting Lowcountry for Kamala and across the nation, actually, is because of the democratic value system. Yeah, we value people. We are the people of the book. And I know there are some who don't believe in the book or follow the book. That's okay. But the people of the book are those who feed the hungry, clothe the naked, and take care of the sick, and make sure that, and those systems that created it. That's what we as Democrats do. Yeah. We make sure that we addressing the systems that created the homelessness problem, or the problem of people not being able to afford health care or a place to live. Yeah. All of this is what Democrats is all about. And that's why I'm so happy to have you tonight, ReZsaun. I really appreciate it. I need to know, though, because one of the reasons why Lowcountry for Kamala was started was so that we could be a conduit for information about how people can get involved. Yeah. I know you as the chair of the Dorchester Dems. I know y'all be on it, doggone it. Tell Deborah I send my best, okay? And
absolutely,
all the rest.
I will.
But we got some people here who might need to know about the rally on the 17th or whatever. Come out and support. Where did the donations at? Come on, somebody.
Yes, sir. So when I took over as chair in April, I came with three key priorities, right? One was to make sure we unified Dorchester County. I felt like we had two Dorchester counties. We had, Somerville area, and then we had the St. George area, and it was split. So I wanted to make sure the people in St. George felt just as a part of the party as the people in Somerville. And then it's very important to me because my family's from St. George, and I know that St. George is a majority Black area. Right. And when you have that division, it can make it seem like segregation. And we don't want in the Democratic Party to seem like we're segregated in any way. So I wanted to make a concerted effort to make sure that we were having events in the St. George area held officially by the Democratic Party. So to your point, on August 17th, which is this Saturday, from 4 to 7 p.m., we're going to be having our rally the vote a cookout in St. George. We're gonna have free food. We're gonna have a live band. We're gonna have a DJ. We're gonna have jump castles. We're gonna have a great. We're gonna have board games, and it's gonna be the village coming out to talk about. And we're gonna have candidates. These candidates that are asking for your vote. I know Dr. Satani Ogletree is gonna be there. I know Ogletree Satani is gonna be there. I know that Rita Atkins is gonna be there. I know that Senator Vernon Stevens is gonna be there. I know that Representative Joe Jefferson is going to be there. I know that Representative Gilda Cobb Hunter is going to be there. And even people who are running for school board races, which are nonpartisan races, they're all going to be there. And these types of events are very important. I know sometimes you guys may see, so many things coming across your timeline. And a pastor knows about all the events, and he makes it an effort to be to everything that he possibly can. And we appreciate that. And we know everybody can't make everything. But I need you to understand this. As a party chair, I went out on a limb to make sure that I approved the budget, regardless of the number, that would make this a respectable event for the people of St. George. And we got to make sure that the party, when they come out there, they see that the community wanted this event, that the community values this event, that the community is supporting this event, because that's what's going to make them say, this is a worthwhile expenditure. If we go out there and there's only 20 people out there, they're going to tell me, hey, ReZsaun, we tried it your way and it didn't work. So when you see these types of events, I need y'all to go out and check them out. Even if you only go out there for a little while, go out there, see what's going on, eat some food, talk to people, bring somebody with you. We're going to be at Davis, at Bailey Davis Field in St. George from 4 to 7. It's going to be an amazing event. You don't have to pay anything. Bring your dog out if you want to bring your dog. If you got a pet monkey, bring your pet monkey out there. And let's have a good time and get people elected.
Yes. I love it. So it doesn't matter whether you're a Dorchester County Dem or not. Okay, if you're a Democrat, come out and support it. And one of the things I want to stress out, ReZsaun, he pointed out that Rita Atkins will be there. She's running against a lunatic, a far right wing lunatic who's a 3%er. Who supports, it's the same ideology as the Proud Boys in them. He's a MAGA Trumpster that she's running against, and she needs to see that same support. But not only her, Senator Vernon Stevens here, South Carolina, Senate District 36, he's running against a real fool. Now the other one's a fool, but this one's a real fool. Okay, we need to quantify that. Okay, that might have been him right there. Flying around your house. I don't know what that was. Some of you that are on here, that are on the Lowcountry for Kamala page, saw the set of pictures I put. The guy with all them guns around him in the bed and everything had about 40, long guns, got a safe full of guns and carrying on. Yeah. And his whole platform is, I love guns. I don't know what his gal got to say about that, but he said something about that gun thing. But I'm gonna leave that alone right now. It's the past.
It was scary.
I can only stay so much. But his opponent is the seated senator for District 36, Vernon Stevens, and he's going to be out there. So we need to be out there showing our support for these people that are running up against these crazy people, and make sure that the community sees us supporting them, so that they get out also and support them.
Yeah. And I would also say that, just be mindful of the information that you intake, and know the sources. Sort of like make it your job, your responsibility to fact check these people, because there's a lot of poorly crafted narratives that are purveying not only the Black community, but the entire community of South Carolina when it comes to certain things. I'm not going to tell you who to believe, but I will tell you that you need to fact check a lot of people and a lot of stuff that they say. A lot of the stuff that they say is easily disprovable. It's not hard. It does not take a Harvard law degree or to be a 20-year sitting legislator to know that a lot of these stuff that people are saying are lies. So take some time. If you're looking for information, try to find the most unbiased sites that you possibly can find. Find people that you respect to sit down and talk to about these issues. And let's have open minds. And I'm talking on both sides. Democrats and Republicans. Let's have some open minds about this. Have some real discussions, because there is an opportunity to have some real discussions about some of the shortcomings of the Biden-Harris campaign. Biden-Harris administration. There are real discussions we can have about it in a real way. It's just that a lot of the lies that are being told don't line up with the truth. But if you sit down with somebody and they tell you, hey, what you've been told, or what you may have seen does not line up with the truth, have an open mind to hear that. And if you are super Biden-Harris and somebody comes and tells you something adversely, listen to them. listen to them, because you may be the only person with any knowledge that they run into. So let's just be more open-minded, more open-hearted, and more like focused on what the real goal should be, which is to move our country forward past November 5th, 2024. If on November 6th, 2024, we come out of it more disjointed than we did going into last time's election, that's going to be a bad thing, y'all. That's going to be a bad thing. And I fear, and I don't want to, put this even in the ether, but I fear that the people who are working against this effort, it means a lot to them that they win. And if they don't win January 6th, that may seem light. I don't want to be alarmist, but people like the gentleman that you mentioned, Pastor Dixon, when somebody's hoarding guns, when somebody's hoarding bullets, when somebody's hoarding ammunition, when somebody's willing to say, oh, I have a rocket launcher and a hand grenade. I served in the Army. I protected this country. I defended this country on a global scale. I am a gun owner. There is nothing about my life that will require me to have 50 weapons. And we should be afraid of people who do.
Exactly. You're 100% correct. And even in the possibility of in the aftermath of a loss on their behalf, there's a real and present danger.
Yeah.
A possibility of it. Okay. I can't trust them. I think that we need to be vigilant in everything that we do. Of course, work as hard as we can in order to make sure that right-minded people get into office.
Yeah.
But from that point on, continue to be vigilant in our interactions and what we do every day out here in the community. Yeah, there are some of us, I'm a Christian pastor, and I stay prayed up, so I can continue to do the work that I do. But I already know my name goes around in some circles out here that you really don't want to be involved in. You don't want your name in the middle of them, But it is what it is. Somebody's got to do it. And that's why I started off with that song, The Sound of Silence. Everybody can't be out front. Everybody can't be a ReZsaun Lewis or a Pastor Dixon. But everybody can do something. We can attend events like that. We can get in touch with Dorchester County Dems in order to say, hey, when are you phone banking? I want to knock on some doors over in Dorchester County. And when we get over in Colleton County, can you come over and help us too? That's how we win. And that's how we win hearts and minds also. Because what's happening right now is a strange phenomenon. We're looking at now across this nation, Republicans who are intentional and purposefully stepping away from their party to support Kamala Harris.
Absolutely.
Prominent Republicans. And they're starting groups, Republicans for Kamala. That's a phenomenon I never expected to see. But there's a saying, I don't remember the exact saying, that says when one person stands up, it strengthens the backs of others. And as they've seen this shift that we've seen from the negativity to the positivity that happened in the last 4 weeks, I think that the Republicans who were riding that fence, the moderates, those who knew in the back of their minds that Donald Trump is crazy and that he's about domination, I think that strengthened them as they saw this shift. And they said, I'm not playing with this anymore. Let me go on and get behind her, because at least we can have some sanity and some respect in our country. Yeah. She's talking about policy. She's no nonsense. Yeah. She picked a guy who ain't scared.
Shout out.
I love Tim Walz. He ain't
nice.
Scared at all. I think he'll go toe to toe with somebody. But that's what it's all about, and that's why I'm happy that I was able to get you on this evening for our first special guest here on Lowcountry for Kamala, and that's what it's all about. It's about getting that information around so that everybody will understand where they can come to help everybody else out. That's been my platform for years. You know it, ReZsaun.
Absolutely, Pastor. guess in closing, I
Mhm.
just want to, just one start by saying the last 2 years, we had two of the strongest years of job growth in history. We have more than 40 million borrowers stand to benefit from the student loan debt relief. Over nearly 11 million jobs created since 2021. Over 100 actions taken to lower household energy costs by 100 per year. Help bring gases down more than $1.60 from the summer peak of 2022. Increase the maximum value of Pell Grants by $900. 3.5% unemployment rate, the lowest in 50 years. 750,000 new manufacturing jobs. Near a record low unemployment rate for Hispanics. Near a record low unemployment rate for African Americans. These are just a few of the things, right, that have been done under the Biden-Harris administration. Again, if you're not sure, what people may say, well, what have they done worth supporting? I'm telling you, that's right there. So if you want to know what the Harris plan is going to look like, I want you to look at the last 4 years. I want you to remember where we were in 2020. I want you to remember that we were in the middle of a COVID pandemic where the president thought that it might be a good idea for us to put Clorox in needles and stick them in our arm or somehow get sunshine into our body to get rid of COVID. And instead of having that, we got a president that actually took action to bring us out of the COVID pandemic. I want you to remember that our economy was failing. We had a president that came in and brought us back. And now we're thriving. Our economy is booming. Now, you may say to yourself, that's not something that I've seen in my personal life. Food prices are high. Gas prices are higher. Gas prices are not as high as they were in 2022. Just told you that, right? But food prices, that's not something that's impacted by the president. That is a corporation issue. And I'll tell you this. If you think that the president that is for free market in its truest form is going to tell corporations, hey, you need to bring down the cost of things and lower the cost to the profits to your shareholders, if you think that Donald Trump is going to do that, vote for him. And I promise you, you will be wrong. I also have some beachfront property in Nebraska to sell you, if you believe that. Real elections have real results. Real elections have real results, and we have a job to do. If you want to get involved, you want to. If you're mad, if you're upset, if you're sick and tired, if you want to stand against racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, fight against 2 more Supreme Court justices being appointed by Donald J. Trump, if you're mad enough about that to knock doors, then we need you. If you're mad enough about that to phone bank, we need you. If you're mad enough about that to hand out pamphlets, we need you. If you're mad enough about that to register voters, we need you. But I promise you this, if you stay home, everything we don't want to see happen will happen. And we will be to blame for it. We got to do our part. Let's get Kamala in the White House.
Bingo. Bingo. I couldn't have said it any better. And wow, I just want to thank you for coming on, ReZsaun, and sharing, that sage advice and wisdom and firing up this crowd they're already on the edge of their seats and ready to go.
Let's do it.
All we got to do is keep nudging them. And you are a great first nudge for this group as we move forward. We're going to have your colleague from Charleston County on Wednesday. Sam Scarden's going to join us. And we're going to keep on moving. Of course, we're going to have Ralph on and moving on, Colleton County and all over the Lowcountry here. Just to see what we can come up with, what we can do collectively. Because, unity has always been my push. Yeah. But how to get there, I've had a hard time figuring out. Right now, I can see something. I see something happening. And if we just capitalize on it and hold on to it, and not only win in this election, but can keep building on it, because we have to, holding those elected officials to the feet to the fire, not letting them just get elected and go into their seats and tell them, do your job. Those days are over. Yeah. And it's time to change the dynamic. And we are the people to do it, be it Dorchester County, Charleston County, Colleton, Berkeley, Hampton, Jasper, Beaufort, no matter where, we are the ones to do it. Mm-hmm. Now is our time. My brother, I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. All righty. Yeah. Yes,
Appreciate
sir. I love that. I
you.
love it. I
Have a
don't
good
know
one,
how you
Pastor.
do that, but thank you.